Greetings in the love and the light of the infinite creator. This is Robert. I've been asked a couple questions, so I've been contemplating on my answers. Is it easy for you to empty your mind? Is it second nature for you now? How many years have you been meditating, Robert? Did you start young? How did you find the law of one? If you feel comfortable sharing. But of course, I understand if you'd rather be kept conversation on the law of one material. Thanks. Yeah, it's getting pretty empty for me to empty my mind after I smoked a couple joints. Let's be honest. I've been smoking marijuana for a long time. I use it for my meditations, for my medicine. A lot of people get busted. They'll say, oh, it's my right or whatever. It is my right. It's my spiritual right. But that's what helps me. Chemically induced. Of course, I've been working on meditation for a while. What does that mean? It's real hard for me to sit cross-legged with my back straight. Traditional style, Zazen, I find my meditation times when I'm walking, when I'm reading the spiritual material. Every day now, majority of the day, I am thinking law of one. So that goes to how long have I been working with the law of one material? It's been several years. I've been working with the Law of One channel for over 3 years now. And previous to that, for a couple years, I was doing posts on YouTube, strictly LL Research channel material, Law of One. That's still kind of ongoing. I don't put as much work into it now. The Facebook group. How did I start young? No, I started in my 30s. Of course, I guess subconsciously I've always been a seeker. There's a lot of instances when I was a child, when I had spiritual experiences. I remember vividly, I was very young, being in my room by myself and started thinking about the universe and but then I started thinking, this is such a grand thing. What is it? What if I didn't exist? What if I just didn't exist? And that's a pretty scary thought. So that's always been there. Not to exist. Wow. I've come to accept that I do exist. And that I'm part of the infinite universe, infinite creator, and in that I'm part of that infinity that brings me comfort. How did you find the law of one? I'll be honest. I grew up in the 90s, and I did pretty good growing up. I was a good student. I always went to school. I grew up in a good home. I grew up with a lot of different people because I grew up in Los Angeles, in Pasadena area. So there's a lot of different people that live here. My parents had in mind when they moved here that it was a good melting pot. right? So I am multicultural in that ways of getting along and being, it's all good being with all different people of all different cultures. And also I love people of all different ages. I was always the guy to hang out with the older women who were talking, or the older men, just the good old days of the Depression. Not the good old days, but the days of depressions, or at least whatever. How'd I get to the Law of One? Wasn't until my 30s. Like I was saying, I'm a child of the 90s. The 80s, the 90s. So, got to a party scene. This, that, and the other. I was traveling on a bus from Oklahoma to Los Angeles. I had just a couple months previous to that been in jail. And previous to my jail experience, I was in my own little world. I didn't really care what was going on in the world. In those days, I was in my own world. So on the bus, I kind of woke up. It reminded me, when I was younger, I made a film, not a video, a film. It's called The Future Is Now. I made a film. And I woke up seeing these airplanes in the sky as I was on the bus, and I thought the future is now. What is that stuff they're spraying out the back of the airplanes? Because the stuff, the contrails were not dissipating. They just kept going on and on. My contrails dissipate. So that led me into researching all that has to do with the weather and the airplanes and the chemtrails. And then that leads me, why would people be doing that? Why are they going to spray us? And they got the climate control, all this kind of agenda. But it leads you down a rabbit hole. And it gets pretty dark and sinister what's going on in the world. It's very negative and dark. I got into that world real deep. What's going on here? Because I keep researching. Did a lot of research. It got so dark. It's so dark. And I thought, man, so much negativity and darkness. And seems like demonic stuff going on. If there's demonic stuff going on, if there's entities that are dark angels, well, if they exist, and I'm finding a lot of evidence they do, then there must be angels of light. There must be good guys. There must be, something good in the universe. It's so dark in this one end, it's just gotta be something light. So from there, I don't know, something came to my mind, I'll be honest with you, my mind. And the words, what is this with this Ra? Some reason I need to, Egyptians and Ra, I need to look into that. That just popped in my head. And that's what led me to finding the Law of One, the raw material. And bam, this is jackpot. This is what I've been searching for. So I guess I was planting a seed in my brain like that. Ra, somebody communicated to me. That was, I don't know how many years ago. Making me do math here. I don't know. Seems like a while. So my meditations now are a daily thing. I try to do what I talked about, I believe in Atan said, you be in a semi-meditative state all the time. That's what I strive for. Because I do believe, The new paradigm talks about those who've done too many drugs, that you kind of fry your brain. And it's kind of like taking a shotgun blast to the receptors and just blasting them open, but then you do all this damage. So when I meditate, seriously, like I'm here, I'm just chilling, I'm meditating. I'm just sitting in my chair or my bed or just comfortably just sitting. I just work on letting my mind go, try not to have any talking. Just go silent. Go to Zazen, Buddhist, just go for a silent meditation. For me, meditation is not about, going somewhere, my mind, flying around or remote viewing, or I don't do that. I just go with the meditation, so what it does is help raise my vibration and my connection to the Creator, to Source. Because the more you accept yourself and the more you forgive your life and forgive others in your life and just come to accept who you are and love yourself, the more you do open up, the different chakras become more balanced, and you do start opening up your indigo. And your indigo, you get this vibration feeling, it's in your head. And the more spiritual thinking I have, the higher the vibration gets. And so if my intent is to be one with the Creator, then I have a higher spiritual sense about myself. And that's what I seek in meditation. So, I love you, sister. I can go on and on. I've kind of rambled a bit. I give you a little bit of 2 cents of who I am. And I'd be happy to talk about myself, about whatever. I'm a very open guy. So, I love you so much. Praise be our Creator. And I'd love to talk to y'all again soon. Have a blessed Sunday.